I didn't know you'd been told to stand up. That would have been a wonderful thing. Hello, it's Saturday night. Welcome to the new series of The Jonathan Ross Show. Let's see who's in my green room tonight. She is one half of Britain's most popular double act. She wrote one of the greatest sitcoms in television history. It's Jennifer Saunders, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Happy New Year. Alongside Jennifer, we have someone who is the host of Britain's most popular dating show, and I don't mean embarrassing bodies. Let the Roly meet the Poly. It's Paddy McGuinness. There he is. It's young Paddy. He's braved the weather to get down here for us. Alongside him, we have one of our most talented young actors with an incredible range. She played Moneypenny in the last Bond film. She's playing Winnie Mandela in the exceptional Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, which is out right now. Naomi Harris, ladies and gentlemen. The beautiful and talented Naomi Harris. And alongside them, we have the Jazzman's Jazzman. He's so jazz that as a child, his favourite cartoon was Scoobly-Doobly-Doo. It's Jamie Cullum, ladies and gentlemen, and Jamie will be singing for us as well as playing for us tonight. Hi, Jamie, how you doing? OK, well, that's the show. Of course, it's 2014, and it's going to be a very exciting year for so many people, including Simon Cowell, of course, because as you probably know, he's going to have a baby. And I have exclusive news, I know the name. If it's a boy, it's going to be called Simon. And if it's a girl, it's going to be called Simon. Well, I prefer Simonella. I thought you should have gone with that. 2040 is also going to be a big year for Scotland. This is the year it votes to decide whether to separate from England and become independent. And I'd rather they didn't go, but if you do want to divorce Scotland, please, can we get custody of Andy Murray? Okay? This year is also a World Cup year, and I happen to know that Roy Hodgson has already picked his team to win the World Cup. It's Spain. And of course, on a more sombre note, let's not forget the special commemoration of the 100th anniversary of one of the most tragic events of the last century, the birth of Louis Walsh. I love Louis. We always pick on Louis. So I hope you all got some good presents. You get some good Christmas presents? I'm going to show you one I got. My wife got me this, OK? This was my favourite present. It's a little thing. It's a camera. It's called the autographer. And you hang it around your neck, or you've got a little thing, you can put it on a belt or something, and you open it up, and it takes a photograph. It's got like a fisheye type lens, but it's pretty good. It takes a photograph every 30 seconds. So you forget about it, and it kind of records everything you do your entire day, and then you go home, you put it on your computer, and you can show it to everyone, OK? Which I thought was a great thing to do. So I got it out, charged it up, Boxing Day, put it on. Here we go. These are the pictures. Now, you'll see why this can maybe not necessarily be a good thing. So here's the first one. I went for a walk with my daughter. There she is. I've got by the way, that's a tangerine in my hand, in case you wonder. It can look misleading. So there I'm eating the orange. We go for a lovely walk. We're out in the countryside. As you can see, we had a lovely walk. We walked through some fields there, and there's our shadow. So then later on, we went to a nearby hotel. We thought we won't cook. We had a big meal on Christmas Day that we could. We'll go out, we'll treat us. So we went to this hotel. There was a buffet. There's me beginning to load up the potatoes on the... And I didn't know these were being taken. I'm adding a bit more. OK. Then I'll go to the next picture. Well, yeah, I added a bit more. OK, so... And then I went to the carvery. OK, yeah, so you get the idea. Yeah, and I stayed at the carvery for a while. So you can see, you know, you get a record. You don't even know you take these pictures. And then went for a walk afterwards to get rid of some of the weight. This is where it begins to go a bit wrong. I didn't realise, and I'm watching this with my family, that's me on the loo. And then the last one, this is me standing up. Look, I'm just hoiking the pants up. There we go, off we go. But I think that's a great present, isn't it? You just got to really remember you're the one wearing it. So let's get my first guest out. I'm thrilled she's here. She's been making us last for over 25 years. You know what? And this is incredible for me, because although I've been a fan of her ever since she was first on TV, this is the first time I've ever had her on one of my shows. Please welcome the wonderful Jennifer Saunders, ladies and gentlemen. I know. You never have. I know. I never knew why. I thought maybe I'd upset you, or I'd...
I can't actually believe that. I sort of have a memory of actually... Oh, no, you were in French and Saunders.
I was in your show.
Playing yourself, that's right. OK.
Hey, well, Happy New Year, first of all. Happy New Year 2014.
Happy New Year to you, yeah.
Are you the kind of person who makes resolutions? Do you do that kind of thing?
Well, I do, always, and always break them within about 3 days. But I've actually gone through with one, which was to get rid of Jelly Defence off my iPad, which is the most addictive iPad game. So I've got rid of that, and I'm now going to get rid of this. And obviously...
Well, you don't look like you've got anything going on,
I'm a sausage.
Are you in a...
I'm a huge sausage. I've got a sort of, you know...
You got a Spanx
I've got the sort of Sharon Osbourne special on under this. I can barely breathe. So I was once getting undressed, taking a costume off, and I had some big Spanx on underneath. And I rolled them down. There's a room full of people thinking, I'm all right, I've got my bra and knickers on underneath. As I rolled them down, they sort of went like an elastic thing and went ping like an elastic band, taking all my pants off as well. So I start naked with all my pants tied up in this tiny little thing. Get them out, where's my pants?
There you go. So we had Joanna Lumley, the wonderful Joanna Lumley, on my show in the last series, and we were talking, of course, about Absolutely Fabulous.
Yes.
And she was saying that you are now talking about a movie.
Yes, well, I have to do it now, because I've threatened to a lot, And then she kept announcing it and saying, yes, she's going to do it, she's going to do it. And then Dawn French on our radio show at Christmas said, I bet £100,000 that you don't write it. So now I have to write it. Otherwise, I have to pay her £100,000.
But if you do write it, then she'll have to give you
No, it doesn't work both ways.
What?
She's very clever.
That's good.
She's very clever.
But this is what Joanna said, that you are a procrastinator.
I am the worst procrastinator in the world. I wish it was actually a named disease so I could go to a clinic. It's like unfair that, you know, everything else is a disease except procrastination. And it is like a disease to me. I cannot get on with anything. At the time, it would really make sense to do it. I do it too late, always too late.
So when you were working with Dawn, because,
yes.
I mean, I guess maybe part of the problem, is it that you're writing alone when you're doing Absolutely Fabulous?
Yeah, you know, that is part of the problem. And because you actually need someone to sort of work with and work against, someone to laugh at your jokes, basically.
But do you miss working with her? Because you were together, and you are together as friends, aren't you?
Yeah, I do miss working with her. And I think we're going to plan something for maybe this year or the year after. Who knows?
So is it harder now, going back to write Absolutely Fabulous?
Yeah, really hard, I have to say. Because it's like that sort of second album syndrome. You know, once you've had a bit of a success, the last thing you want to do is go and make a flop.
Yeah.
And so the biggest fear of me is that it won't be good enough.
Well, especially a flop is something that people love so much.
Exactly, exactly. And they know it so well, and they almost own it, really. And so, yeah, I'm really nervous about it.
But do you find you write it differently?
£100,000, Jonathan, I've got to do it.
Well, you won't pay up if you don't do it, though, will you?
I might have to, yeah.
Would she make you pay up?
I think she would.
Wow, what a bitch.
She's a bitch.
Yeah. OK, you know one of the things, I love the performance of it anyway, but I love the fact that it actually travelled. It became a hit in America as well, which surprised some people, I think, because it seemed very UK.
Well, mainly it was surprising because when they first saw it out there and were thinking about buying it, they thought it would need subtitles because no one would understand what the hell we were saying. And eventually it was Comedy Central that put it on and said, and we said, well, you can have it, but you can't put subtitles on it. It's crazy. And it was really the gay men, that sort of, the gay community that sort of took it to their bosom.
I wonder what they saw in it.
I can't imagine.
But didn't you went out, when you were given a very prestigious award, I mean, obviously the gay community, but you went to the Senate, is that right?
We went to the Senate House, yeah, because it was the LGBT Awards, which is the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual and Transgender Awards. And it was in the Gay Pride Week. And they said, will you and Joanna come over and get an award? And we thought, that's going to be the campest award we're ever going to get. So we said, yeah, we'll do it, but let's dress up. Let's not go as just, you know, Jennifer and Joanna, because we've been to parties before that were ab-fab parties. And as we walked in, we saw everyone's face drop and go, oh, look, it's just them with their dowdy hair and their sad dresses. And so we thought we'd dress up.
As the characters.
As the characters, yeah. And by then, Joanna and I had made a pact that if we ever got a freebie that included a flight and a hotel, we'd take it. Yeah. Because we knew this couldn't last forever. So we just did anything that was going. And so we said, yeah, we'll do it. And on the way over in the plane, I said to Joanna, I said, this could be quite a big thing. Should I make a speech? And she went, darling, no, darling. Darling, no speech. No speech. Absolutely no speech. All you've got to do is say, sweetie darling, hello, sweetie darling, and they'll love you. That's all you've got to do. And so, OK, right, no speech, that's fine. And so we drank a bit of free champagne, got there. The next day, dressed up to the nines. I had a huge white Philip Tracy hat on with a stars and stripes scarf, white suit. Joanna had the full Patsy look. Yeah. And we thought, no, looking good. And so we went. And we went along to the Senate thinking, this is going to be crazy. And it was the most sombre, serious. Oh, my goodness. It was so serious. It was like the awards about, like, gay people who've died. It was about AIDS. It was about, And we were sat there amongst lots of people in brown suits, and people sung songs about gay people, and then everyone cried, and we were thinking, oh, no, this is going to be so bad. And we were sitting there looking horrendous by now, because all you could see in the whole place was my big white hat and the stars and stripes and Joanna's hair. And everyone was making at least 10-minute speeches. And at the end of it, I looked at Joanna and I said, what, no speech? She went, darling, no, I think you should make a speech. I think, in fact, you should make a speech. I think you should make a speech. Oh, my God, it was horrendous. And then Whoopi Goldberg came on and presented us with this award, and I went up and said, cheers, sweetie darling, and ran from the building.
We've got to let's remind ourselves of Absolutely Fabulous. Let's have a look.
Sweetheart, 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 look, darling, I've got a few little sexy bits and pieces. What do you think? Oh, it's for Michael, Oh, darling, is he into that sort of thing? No, I'd be wearing it.
Oh, no, Eddie, no.
I'll just leave him about the house, you know, give him a thrill. Oh, darling, bloody hell, that's strong, sweetheart, isn't it? So if I'm making up a paw or a nostril, what's that?
Eddie, darling, how do I look? How do I look, Eddie?
I think I can see a panty line.
Oh, but Eddie.
What?
I'm not wearing any pants.
Oh, no. It's just folds of old skin in my... No. It'll be all right, darling. Look, darling, where are my controls?
control body. Oh.
Where my control body? My elasticated control body, all right? Come on, it's for Michael, it's for Michael. Oh.
They're always so small, those things.
They're so small.
Hey, the other thing that I admire about you is your relationship with Aid Edmondson, of course,
Yeah.
who I adore. I've always adored Aid Edmondson. And how long have you two been together for now?
28 years,
Wow.
maybe? 8 years?
28 years, incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting an American-style round of applause for that.
Thank you. And I'm 55.
And a grandmother, ladies and gentlemen.
grandmother.
And a grandmother. But that must be great. Being a grandma must be wonderful.
Do you know, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Because you know how when your kids grow up, because you've got kids that grow up,
Yeah.
and you miss the little thing.
Yeah.
You miss them being little. You kind of grieve for those little toddlers. And now I've got one.
Wow, how lovely. Is it Freddie? his
It's
name?
Freddie.
Now, so you live part of your time you live in London,
Yeah.
part of the time in
Yeah.
Devon.
Yeah.
And you kind of grew up in the countryside, didn't you?
I was sort of more or less, I was a forces child, and so we grew up in a lot of Air Force bases. And but for the last sort of 4 years of my growing up, I grew up in the country.
But I guess growing up in the country, you had pets. I would have thought you had
I
animals.
had lots of pets. Oh, there was one time. Because I was an Air Force kid, I had to go to lots and lots of different schools. I went to like 7 different schools, 2 of them twice. And so when you come into a new school, you have to find the thing that makes you feel sort of part of it, or at least safe. And when I went to big school, I decided that the thing that would be safe would be if I could just like feed the mice at break time, then I wouldn't have to go into the playground and see all the scary people. So I used to go to the biology teacher and say, can I feed the mice at break time? She said, yes, yes, yes. So I became mouse carer. So every break time, when everyone else was out in the wind and the rain, I was just in feeding the mice, looking after the mice. And then, of course, holidays come and said, could I take the mice home? And she goes, yes, of course you can take the mice home. So I used to go home with the special mice. And these mice used to live out in the shed with the rabbits and used to be in their little cages. And slowly but surely, wild mice started to breed with the white mice.
Wow.
I know, because wild mice are very small and they get through the bars.
So they must have thought it was like a little brothel you
Yes,
set
it
up.
was. These beautiful white beings strutting their stuff.
Really hot little mice. the
Hot
new
little mice. And so they started to have litter after litter of tiny little half-wild babies. And then the half-wild babies, I tried to sex them and put them in male, female, male, female, male, female. And then they started to mingle again. So I actually had tiny, dwarf, mutant mice that could get through anything. And they were just everywhere. And I couldn't tell my parents. And but my mother found out because one day my dad was at breakfast and he was pouring his cornflakes and a small mutant mouse came out of the cornflakes.
Out of the cornflake lot.
Yeah.
You're kind of engaged. You mentioned earlier on that you're sort of addicted to various games, iPad games.
Yeah, I love iPad games.
But you tweet as well. You're kind of so you're engaged in the modern
Oh,
world.
yes, no. I had one terrible incident on Twitter. I was like, oh, I'll Twitter this, I'll Twitter that person, I'll Twitter this. And you make friends on Twitter. And I made friends with Alice Arnold and Claire Balding, because they're on Twitter quite a lot.
Yes.
And I was thinking, oh, I'm jolly funny on Twitter. Oh, I'm funny. I'll Twitter something to Alice Arnold and Claire Balding. and Alice Arnold had just done a little tweet to say, oh, Claire's come back from doing something and she's very overexcited. And, you know, she's been funny in this costume for Comic Relief. And I said, I tweeted back, I said, oh, that's very, very common, you know, people who suddenly get into comedy. All you got to do is, and I meant to write, I swear to God, all you got to do is lock her in the coal hole. What I wrote was lick her in the coal hole.
Wow.
Now, and
Happy New
that's
Year.
one of those moments when your heart actually stops, when you realise you've pressed send and it's out in the general ether, it's out in the public domain. Wow. And it was a bit of a stir.
Did Claire like having the coal hole licked?
She was very kind about it.
So New Year, so you're going to go back. So when do you start writing the script? Next week? Monday?
Yes, Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
Should we set a deadline now? Would that help?
Oh, no, that would... Yeah, it's actually might help.
It might help.
Yeah, because I need the panic factor.
Okay. Well, you must have thought about it already. Have you got a scene in your head already?
I've got an opening scene.
Okay.
It's a car chase and gee-whizzes.
Well, I just made a farting noise. That's how excited I am about the film happening. I can't wait to see the film. I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled you finally came on the show. Thank you. You're such a lovely guest. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Jennifer Saunders. Thank you so much. I'll give you a kiss to say thank you. Thank you so much. You relax there. Procrastinate there. Still to come on the show, we've got Paddy McGuinness, Naomi Harris and Jamie Cullen, so don't go away. Join me after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guest out. We loved him in Phoenix Nights and Paddy Max. Now, as the nation's matchmaker, he's giving Scylla a run for her money. It is, of course, Paddy McGuinness. I've got to sit down carefully because this chair's making horrible... Okay.
Whoa! You don't quite hear that backstage.
You don't get the full benefit here. This is really quite something.
That's wrong.
Yeah. OK, congratulations to Paddy, because since I last interviewed you, you've become a father.
I have, yeah.
You have a twin.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations. How old are they now?
It really is American tonight.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's nice.
No, it's nice, yeah. They're 6 months old now, Jonathan.
And it's a boy and a girl, yeah?
Leo and Penelope. It's kind of like, now my wife sort of uses them to speak to me through them. I don't know if anyone does that with their kids. You know, like, oh, Daddy's forgot the bottles again. He's a dickhead. I am in the room. Yeah. You know, so all that sort of stuff goes on now. But I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, of course you are. And I mean, it's only 6 months, of course, but are you thinking about more? Or are you going to... Because twins is a handful, as you said.
Oh, God, I'm not a machine, Jonathan. No, I mean, twins is a real handful. I mean, you know, I'm just enjoying it at the minute. They're 6 months old, but it's kind of like, you know... if you've not got kids, you go to the doctors every month when they're first born, and you have vaccinations and stuff like that.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that, because some people think it's wise, but you've got to do that.
You've got to do it, because it's a little virus you give them. I mean, they're ill for a week, but, you know, it sets them up in later life and everything else. It sorts their immune system out. But I was sat there in this little medical centre in Bolton, and the normal nurse weren't there, and I sat with Leo on my lap, and she was talking, and funnily enough, about taking me out. And she come over with a needle and injected me. Instead, right? And I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute, you've given me a virus. And she went, it's not the first time I've done that to someone at Dad's. I'm like, sorry would have sufficed.
Sorry, what,
2 days I were in bed, ill as a dog.
But she had made a mistake, or she just didn't like take me out?
It was a mistake, yeah.
How can you make a mistake? I imagine...
Right in the back of my hand, I'm holding his leg, bang, boom, virus in me.
What, was she drunk or something?
I don't know, John, I do not know, but I never got an apology. This is my thing.
That's the thing that hurt the most, clearly.
It really did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, bonkers.
Well, speaking of Take Me Out...
Clever.
Yeah. Take Me Out is back. I'm Phil. Take Me Out is back. I watch it with my kids. My eldest daughter in particular is obsessed with it. She loves it. We watch it all the time. And so you have the 30 girls, the one man comes out, and you now have this new element. There's a kind of mystery girl.
That's right.
So at the end, when they've got down to 2 girls, if they've got a date, they then you make it more complicated, and you find another person.
What happened on the past series? 4 the girls turn the lights out and 2 girls keep the lights on. That guy might not have necessarily kept their lights on if he had the choice.
I see what you mean. So they might not have been his choice.
Exactly. So now, if that happens on the show, we go, right, before you make your mind up, we've got a mystery girl in the lift. And so he can take a chance, and whoever comes down the lift, he's never seen him before, I've never seen him.
But it didn't happen in the first episode.
No, it didn't, no.
So has it happened in the series?
Yeah.
I see, because I thought that you'd have to be quite a cold person, a guy to do that, because you've got 2 women who say, despite you going out and, you know, there's always something unfathoming in the films, they've said, oh, yeah, I want to go for a date with them, and I find it quite brutal. And then for them to say, well, thank you for saying yes, thank you for saying yes, no to both of you, I'd rather take a random who I've never even seen.
Yeah. But that's the thing of when you were saying sat at home with your family watching it, what gets everyone talking. So, you know, it has happened, or it will happen on future episodes. It's quite interesting.
Let's see, because this is from next Saturday's one. Of course, first one went out tonight. Next Saturday's edition, and this girl, I think she's going to turn into one of my favourites, I think.
Right, okay.
You look so intellectual. Like, if I wanted to ask you questions, would you be able to give me the right answers and stuff? This every day.
Help me. Please. If she asks you questions, would you be able to answer them? I hope so, Colette. Try me.
Like geography questions, like how many countries are there?
How many countries are there? He's not encyclopedia. Use something a bit more specific.
Okay, what's the capital of Germany?
Berlin. Thank God, we'll move on.
The lovely Colette. Is that Colette?
Yeah,
So Saturday night, ITV, Take Me Out is back. One of the things I like about the show, I'm sure you do as well, are Paddy's little catchphrases, or the phrases you do. It's all the stuff where you say, let the hot dog see the bun, that kind of thing.
Can I just say about that? I mean, it's great. You know, I came up with it.
Well, it's a big catchphrase for you now.
I like it, but it's... What happens when I'm out and about now? I like it with people when on the street and stuff like that, but when I'm in a shop and stuff, or you're dealing with someone, and they do it to you, and it's just like let's have a bit of professionals. This is a true story. Last week in Bolton, I was going to get someone as a surprise, a kitchen. Nice. And I went in this kitchen showroom in Bolton. I must have been in 10 seconds, and Norbed, with shirt and tie on, salesman, come and went, let the kitchen see the fitter. I went, oh, balls to this. I'm like, just like what? I'm trying to buy a kitchen.
Well, he was just, maybe he was trying out for Take Me Out. Maybe
no, but you know, that's the only time it drives me mad. Anything else, I love it.
And do people try and give you suggestions for them? Do they offer them?
Usually when people are drunk, but they never make any sense. So, like I were in a pub, this is, again, true, so Paddy, let the table see the onion. I'm like, what does that actually mean? What does that mean? Let the table see the onion.
No, it's a surreal edition. You can have.
It is.
Okay.
It is hard to do it.
Well, we have some here. We have some that... Well, I wanted to see whether people can... Because when you hear them, you say, oh, that makes sense. But if you only hear the first half, you can't always guess the second half. So I thought I'd see if the guys in the green room can guess where we're going with these. So let me see. Jennifer, I'm going to give you one. This was one, and it was one that Paddy did. See if you can guess the second half right. He said, let the belly see the...
Pork.
No, it's not.
That's so posh.
No. That's so posh. It was let the belly see the button.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Actually, you know, actually doesn't make any more sense than let the belly see the pork. It's
I thought you were going to say
Pork
flop.
belly, what's wrong with that?
Okay, well, let's do another one. Jamie, let me try you this one. Let the nut see the...
Sack.
No! Don't encourage that. It was let the nut see the cracker. Let the nut cracker. Naomi, let's try one with you. Naomi, you ready? Let the winkle see the...
urologist.
No! Let the winkle see the picker. Like the shoe, the winkle picker. Here's one. Let's see if you get this one. Jennifer.
Oh, God.
Let the cream see the...
Let the cream see the cow? I don't know. What would it be?
Let the cream see the cow.
The pudding! The pudding!
No!
The onion! The dog! The table!
Let the cream see the hemorrhoid.
No, look what you've done.
No, that was me thinking of this chair. Let the cream see the corn, it was. Do you remember that?
No.
That's what you did, apparently.
I've not done that. Cream see the cracker?
Apparently not.
Apparently so, I said it.
One thing I wonder about you, so you do that, and it's not cool so much, and I can see why they do it on the show, but the first round they come out and they just talk to the girls, and the girls, it's based on where they like the way they
Yeah.
Then, the second round, how do they determine the second round?
So the second round, the guy, it might be a VT or he might show a skill.
Like it's his mum, yeah. Now, the skill thing is the one, because I think sometimes the skill thing is kind of mean. Because you get guys doing a skill and you think, OK, and I imagine the producers have steered in this direction and said, you know that thing you do, that's great, the girls are going to love this. And you see it and you think, there's no way anyone would tell anyone that before first date.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it depends what the skill is, really. Some of the guys...
I want you to put it on you.
Right.
OK, so you are still pretty adept with karate, is that right?
So if we were to say... a younger man...
So let's say to the show now and I said, ladies, no, I can't do your accent.
what were you doing a Jamaican accent for that?
So anyway, so if you were on Take Me Out, we would say, OK, your special talent is karate. Could you do some moves? You would do some moves to impress the ladies still?
Well, I could try.
OK, let's see. We've got a karate headband for you.
OK.
And I've got some balls here. And see if we can kick us a step. Let's stand up. OK. We've got some...
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Should we do... Let's go for... I've got a few bits of wood. OK.
Right. Hang on. Well, you'll have to hold it like that.
And do you kick it?
Hang on. Don't want to pull an arm it. Oh, I think I'm about right.
Oh, wow. Really good. Let's go for... Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Put that on.
OK.
We'll play a
Hold
little...
it. Your head must be half the size of mine. It barely touches on the back.
John, you've not got a big head, huh? We'll play Take Me Out. That's not right.
No, I'm sure I look just as scary as you did.
Right, we've not seen you, so you go around there.
OK.
Right. Can the girls in the green room, have they got a light? Naomi and Jennifer? Oh, good. Look at Jamie's. Oh. Right, OK.
Let's have a vote for the karate skills. Jennifer, for the karate skills, did you...
Oh, damn.
Naomi?
Oh, no, I thought that was a positive. I thought that was a positive.
No, you've just rejected me on national
No,
TV.
I don't want to reject you.
Naomi?
Oh, no.
I was very impressed.
So you're keeping your light on?
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Jamie's taking his light home.
I love it. I love your karate.
OK, so you're keeping on as well for the... Oh, my God.
Right,
Okay.
go on,
Come on,
get
back
yourself.
on.
All right, so you've got 2 dates. You've got yourself a date.
All right.
You're going to Fernando's.
Yes.
You're white-looking booger.
With shit accent. Girls, if you think he's fit, leave your light lit. Welcome back, Jonathan!
All my lights are on.
Whoa, what are you doing?
I'm going to do a... No, why not?
You kick it.
I can't get my leg up past
Come
there.
on, you are doing it, John. Let's roll back the years.
If my leg goes higher than that,
on.
there will be a
I'll come
liquid on
down.
the floor. You know that.
I'll come down for you.
You know, should we make this fun?
What, this isn't already fun? Whoa! Yeah, okay then. Whoa, hang on. Go on.
Yeah.
Right, okay, right, one. There, no, it's there. Let's have it on 3. 1. Oh.
Let's move. Naomi? Jamie? Wow. Only Jennifer remains unimpressed with our childish display. Oh, God, I need to have a nap now.
I love coming on this show.
I love having you on the show. You're great fun as a guest. And I genuinely love the show. That we're so excited it's back. I'm so sad I was watching Repeats late at night on my own in the bedroom. And my wife said, you know how this one turns out? I said, doesn't matter. Great to see you back on TV. Great to have you. Paddy McGuinness, ladies and gentlemen. Paddy continues to Thank you. OK, still to come after the break, we have the beautiful and talented Naomi Harris and the beautiful and talented Jamie Cullum. Don't go away. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the show. I'm going to bring my next guest out now, and it's a kind of a change of mood here because she stars and she gives an exceptional performance as Winnie Mandela in one of the year's most powerful films. The film is called Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. Before she comes out, I'll show you a little bit of it. Here it is.
You are on the island. You will die here.
The girls, they're not allowed visits until they're 16.
Tell me about the arrests.
They think about me a lot.
I am not afraid anymore.
All over the world, there's going to be a new campaign. Free Nelson Mandela.
This is how it begins. Your people have taken away half of my life. Just open the gate and let me go. There will be no revenge.
The people are angry.
We are all angry. What they have done to my wife is their only victory over me.
We will fight to the last drop of our blood.
There is only one way forward, and that is peace.
Will you please welcome Naomi Harris, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely outfit. Okay, I watched the film last night and I found it very powerful, very moving. Of course, an incredible story, an incredible man. And in a way, I think the film has been made all the more kind of, given more impact and made more kind of moving by his death.
Yeah.
Of course, just as the movie was being premiered around the world. Do you know, did he get to see the finished film?
He never got to see the finished film, actually, but he did see a clip, and he actually saw a clip of Idris walking through the field with the kids running, which is one of the last shots of the movie, and he thought it was himself.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
and
Idris does such a brilliant job.
It's a stunning performance by him, and it is also a stunning performance from you in a role which I think it's a harder role for us to warm to, of course, because she, I mean, he's obviously someone who achieved great things. She was someone who was by his side for some of that, figurative at least, and yet she was a more complicated person and involved in some things which are perhaps harder to justify.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did it make it harder for you to play someone as complex as that?
You know, as an actor, what you want is a challenge, you know, and you want a character that's really complex. And Winnie, for me, is the most complex character I've ever been asked to play. She's like 7 different people in one, and her transition in the movie is extraordinary. You know, she goes from being this naive, really unpolitical young woman at 21 when she meets Mandela to being this kind of warrior figure by the end, leading a movement, you know, because effectively what was happening during apartheid was it was warfare, you know, and she was really at the front lines of that, leading a movement. Yeah. So to be able to go through all those transitions was it was great for me, actually.
And you met her?
I did, yeah.
So was that intimidating? How was that for you?
Oh, it was hugely intimidating. You know, I was absolutely terrified about meeting her because I'd read so much about her at that stage, and she's just such a kind of formidable woman, and I didn't know how she was going to react to me as well. You know, I didn't know whether she was happy about me being cast or how she felt about, you know, herself being portrayed in the movie, but she was incredibly generous.
And what did she say after the film was finished? What did she say about your performance afterwards?
Well, I met her in South Africa again when we had the South African premiere, and she was in the audience with her daughter, Zinzi, and lots of the Mandela family, and she was actually crying. And she said that was the first time she felt her story had been captured on film.
Thank God, so. It wasn't just because it was a bad performance. I mean, that would well, I hope people go and see the film. It's the kind of movie where you might not necessarily think you are in the right mood for it. You know, I don't mean that to be critical, but you think, oh, do I want to go and see this film? And I watched it, and I was so pleased I watched it, and I found it very emotional at times, especially when he, you know, he knows at the beginning of this terrible jail sentence he's been handed unfairly that he's not going to see his family or his daughters for so many years. And the moment when he first sees them and his son, of course, it's very, very moving.
But you're right, it is really moving and it's really harrowing, but it's also really uplifting, and that's one of the things that people come away from the movie. They feel like really uplifted and inspired by it, rather than being kind of traumatized by the whole thing.
Yeah, it is inspiring. And to see someone who makes that choice at the time when Mandela had the opportunity to make other choices that wouldn't have been perhaps as beneficial for the country, quite a remarkable human being, really. Let's talk about another film you made a few years, well, I think last year, the Bond movie, because you're now a Bond woman. We don't call them Bond girls anymore, do we? This is some sort of rebranding that's going on for the modern age. But you're the new Moneypenny.
I am indeed, yes. It is fantastic.
How is it making a Bond movie? I imagine very different to making a film like Road to Freedom.
Oh, completely different, completely different. You know, it was like making Bond was a laugh, and, you know, you didn't feel a sense of pressure, you know, it was just fun. And working with Sam Mendes, he was extraordinary as well, so it was great fun.
How do you get on with Daniel? Because Daniel can be quite grumpy. He can be quite grumpy.
He is not.
He
That's
is.
so
well, but he
untrue.
just looks grumpy all the time, doesn't he? He looks a bit like kind of like Alan Sugar on a bad day sometimes. You get rid of that.
It's just his facade, because he's actually got a great sense of humour.
Yeah. You had to shave him in the film as well.
I did.
Okay, now was that a real cut for razor you were using in that scene?
Unfortunately not, but I did actually get trained. I spent months in training to be able to do that. And I practiced on members of the crew. First of all, I had balloons, and then members of the crew would come in, and I practiced on them. So I was actually very skilled by the time it got to that scene, but they wouldn't let me, you know.
Is there a man in your life at the moment?
What? Where did that come from?
Do you shave? Well, I wonder whether you shave, if there's a man in your life, whether you shave the man in your life.
No, I don't shave any men.
Okay, because my back needs doing, that's what I'm saying. Oh, no, your mum is from Jamaica, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you made, I don't know how many people you were in, was it the second of the Pirate of the Caribbean movies?
The second and the third.
And the third, where you played the kind of weird, scary witch woman who grows giant at one stage, and you look fabulous. I love the way they made you look at that. But you do the kind of Jamaican accent, don't you? So did you speak that growing up, or did your mum teach you that for the film?
My mum was actually the accent coach.
Wow.
Yeah, for the movie, yeah.
So how would one earlier on, Paddy was very uncomplimentary about my accents. How would you, to speak Jamaican, are there kind of easy, like, things you can learn, like vowel sounds or something like that? If I wanted to say a phrase in Jamaican, like...
Yeah, but it depends who you want to be. Like, if you want to be like Tia Dalma, then she's kind of, you know, Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. Okay, so Jack Sparrow.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah, man, I'm thinking that.
Wow! I could learn a few things from you.
Oh, yes. Is that a talk?
That is impressive.
Trying to see I grew up in Leytonstone. That's what it is. Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, I will be your coach next time you want something.
I'm going to call you.
Can you imagine that if you tell a film and say, I've got my Jamaican language coach on my pen? Morning, everyone. Babylon and Ting. Okay, let's go. You know, we've been joking at it, but I do want to say again how much I enjoyed the film and how much I didn't know whether I would. I mean, because you kind of know the story, and I know that isn't the be-all and end-all, but you kind of know the story. But to go in and see it brought to life so vividly and so movingly, I thought was quite an achievement for everyone involved. So congratulations to you and everyone else, and I hope it gets the kind of attention and maybe the awards that it deserves.
Thank you.
It really is a tremendous movie. Thank you for being here. Naomi Harris, ladies and gentlemen. I really thought it was really a wonderful show. Naomi Harris, ladies and gentlemen. After the break, Jamie Cullum out here will be chatting and he'll be singing, so don't go away. It's going to be great. See you in a minute. Welcome back. Let's get my next guest out. He's a platinum-selling jazz superstar. Will you please welcome the one and only Jamie Cullum, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. Jamie, you still look so young. I can't believe you're now a grown man with a wife and children. Because you got married to Sophie, was it, how long ago was it you got married to Sophie?
Oh, don't ask me questions like that.
It was, yeah, 2010, I've got it written down, 2010. So you guys, you have 2 children?
We do.
And how was Christmas with them? I guess they're old enough to know what's going on now, certainly the 2-year-old.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, Christmas with young kids, actually. I now realise why my parents never put Christmas presents out before Christmas.
Of course.
Because you can't explain to a 2-year-old that no, Christmas Day isn't today, and you can't open these presents because they're not for you.
No, you can't put them out because you haven't got them yet, because Santa brings them during the night.
Well, that's true. That did happen, but we were at nursery and Santa Claus made an appearance, and this one little girl said, I don't like that Christmas man. He was pretty monstrous.
Was he one of those ones who smelt of rum?
Well, his beard was kind of coming out of his ear. It was
wow. Wow, well, that happens to me. I just trim it. That's what you have to do. Okay, you are a tremendously gifted musician. I'm sure everyone knows that, but you've kept everyone waiting quite a while for this new album. Now, why is that? Why has it been? It's been 3 years since the last one.
I guess the thing is, I tour everywhere, so I do the stuff here in the UK, and then I go to, you know, America, and I do lots of stuff in Asia and the rest of Europe as well. So it takes a while to get around the world.
For 3 years is a long time.
Is it? Is that a long
I think
time?
so, for to be an album.
Well, I've made another record which I hope come out next year as well. So
you did two.
I'm
in
getting a
those
bit
2 years.
faster now. I'm getting a bit faster.
Okay. Now, how did this come about? I think it was the movie, wasn't it? You became quite friendly with Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, I did. I wrote a song for the movie Gran Torino.
Well, it's a tremendous film. He directed that as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I know his son, Kyle Eastwood, really well. He's a great jazz musician, and he was the one that kind of got me involved in it, and I met Clint through him, and I ended up writing a song with Clint and his son.
Wow. But he's been a jazz fan since the 60s, hasn't he? I mean, he's a major jazz fan.
Knows his music like you wouldn't believe. If you talk to him about music, he won't stop, you know.
Was he specific as to what he wanted for the film when he asked you to compose this?
He was pretty specific, because actually he kind of composed the first part of the melody, like a really simple kind of piano melody, which he's done on some of his films before. And then we recorded the song in his house, and he wanted it done like a, you know, 1 or 2 takes. He didn't want to do it loads of times, like a kind of jazz performance. Yeah. And I played it once for him, and they recorded it, and then he kind of sidled up to me and said, can you play it again? But, like, you're the last guy in a nightclub, and there's only 2 chicks left, you know. That's a really bad Clint. It's nearly as bad as one of your impressions, actually.
Get out of here, man! What are you talking about?
And so he gives really good, you know, direction. I guess like he does his films, but the whole thing was magical from.
He's a great, you know, a huge talent. What a great, fun thing I would have thought to hang out with him in his house. That must be.
Yeah, especially because he likes to talk music. You know, I was asking questions about music, and he liked to talk about it, definitely.
And he must have seen some of the jazz greats who are no longer with us. I would have.
He went partying with Miles Davis in New York in,
wow.
You know, in the late 50s, early 60s.
Wow. Do you feel a bit out of time in that respect? I mean, the fact that, you know, you've made a huge success of it, but that's when jazz was the cool music. And now it's still cool in some way, but it's one of many, many different kinds of cool music. And that's when it was at the centre of it all.
I don't think so. I kind of discovered jazz through listening to hip-hop, really. So I kind of got it through the sample way and the acid jazz thing going on in the 90s. So I kind of discovered it in a modern way, and I'm always trying to mix it up with those things. Anyway.
Well, you've worked with some of the modern hip-hop guys, haven't you?
Yeah, I did get to know Pharrell pretty well after I did a cover of his song on Radio 1 ages ago now, about 8 years ago, of Frontin'. And I met him at the Brits, and then I spent about 10 days in his company in Miami, which was the weirdest 10 days of my life.
And is it P. Diddy, or is he now, what is his name now? Is he P. Diddy still, or is he Puff Daddy? Is he going back to Puff, or what is his name?
I don't know, I think it's Diddy.
It's Diddy, just Diddy?
We went to one of the many things we did. We spent a lot of time in the studio, and we went to some parties, and I was literally like this weird kind of extra from Bugsy Malone, kind of following him around in his, you know, incredible life of, you know, what he was doing. He's an amazing guy. Now, I watched him work, and we got to do some stuff together, and one day they said, oh, we're going to go to Diddy's house for a party. I'm like, oh my God, you know, this is going to be like the MTV party that I've always wanted to go to, that you dream about going to. So I left the studio, and I spent all afternoon looking for the correct pair of trainers.
So because you're going to Diddy's crib, you want to make sure you've got the right wheels on.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah. I went looking for the right pair of wheels. It took me all afternoon, but I found these really amazing pair of gold Nikes, which were really good, and I wore like a simple outfit on top, because the gold Nikes were
you want to let the shoes do the talking. Yeah.
And we get in the Escalade, and we go to Diddy's house, amazing house.
So you got an Escalade is the big kind of
massive
big show-off car with the wheels spinning.
You know, it was all the scene was set perfectly, and it's weird, as we were driving up to the house, it didn't look like there were many people there. Like, this is weird. And we got there, and I realised that it was actually like a really small dinner party. And not only that, it was actually a shoes-off house. So I had to take my shoes off, and I was wearing these horrific Bart Simpson socks with a hole in. So I'm walking around P. Diddy's house wearing, like, basically, you know, terrible outfit and a pair of Bart Simpson socks. And there's like 10 people there.
Well, they probably thought you were like a 10-year-old. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Who brought the kid in the Bart Simpson socks? Get back upstairs to bed.
Honestly, I was constantly kind of just trying to follow, going, oh, I'm the guy who plays the piano.
Now, you're going to play for us this evening.
Yeah.
What song are you going to do?
I'm going to play a song called When I Get Famous.
Okay, here's the album, Momentum. It's a great track. It's a very upbeat track. I like it. Some great music on it. Momentum's the album, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to perform for us live right now. Mr. Jamie Callum. Okay, off you go and get yourself ready. Thanks to all my guests tonight. Next week I'll be joined by Karen Brady, Torval and Dean, Aaron Eckhart will be here, Griffrey Stones, we've got music from Codeline. But now, with When I Get Famous, it's Jamie Callum.
The time is hiding in my hands. They're gonna cut through the windows. They know I'm messing with my plans. Right now my star is in limbo. Sit back and watch my scrawny frame invade your feelings. All the years you caused me pain. I got some wounds that need healing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you were just too damn aloof, wearing your Morrissey t-shirt, the kind of because it's born for you. Well, that's a blessing and some curse. I tell you, some beware of those who peek too early, 'cause all the magic can't be froze. Now it's you ain't worthy. So baby, when I get famous, everybody's gonna see. Whoa, never really knew me. Does it make sense to simplify? Now we're not seeing riddles, but I don't care, do you know why? The clothes are falling like Skittles. Whoever said you need a rise to tame your beauty? I'll say goodbye to lonely nights. Girls for an orderly cue, please. So baby, when I get famous, everybody's gonna see. Whoa, never really knew me. Oh, Tom. So given knowledge, given time, I take us out of recession. I tell the world that all is fine, that your freedom's a blessing. 'Cause when I'm looking from the top, you'll all seem smaller. And that's the one thing I am not. That's the one who is taller. So baby, when I get famous, everybody's gonna see. Whoa, never really knew me. Everybody's gonna see. Whoa, you never really knew me.
Yeah. David Keller, ladies and gentlemen, and his fabulous band.
And Jonathan's back at 9:45 next.